So today's lesson is about the exponent properties. And the first one we're going to focus on is the product property. So let's start by expanding some of these examples. So make sure you're following along with us in your purple foldable. So the first thing we have is x to the fifth. And x to the fifth means 5 x's. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ta-da! Okay, and then we've got x to the seventh. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if we want to find out what that equals, we just need to count them all. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this is x to the 12th power. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the next one. So we got g to the second, so that's g times g. And then we've got g to the fourth, so that's g times g times g times g. And then again, we're just going to count them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's g to the sixth power. Okay, and the last one we have for this is d times d squared. So d is right there. And then d squared means, or I'm sorry, d to the eighth, not d squared. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then again, we just count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is d to the ninth power. So stop right here, and do you notice a pattern? Do you know what xm times xn is going to be? If so, fill in your shortcut right here. The next property we're going to focus on is power of a power. So we're right here. Power of a power in the center of your foldable. So the first problem is x squared to the power of 3. So that means that I have 3x squared. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, and what x squared means is that I've got 2x squared. So there's the first x squared, here's the second x squared, and there's the last x squared. So total, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is x to the sixth power. Okay. The next one, actually I'm going to skip the next one and I'm going to jump to the third one. So it's c to the fifth squared. So that means I've got c to the fifth times c to the fifth. Okay, and then let's expand that further. C times C times C times C times C. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I got to do C times C times C. Ooh, I don't know what happened there, you guys. Sorry. Times C times C times C. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So now I need to count up how many total I've got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. C to the 10th power. Stop this video and predict what you're going to get for number 2. Predict what you're going to get for number 2. Okay. Do you have your predictions in? We know that this is f to the 7th times f to the 7th times f to the 7th times f to the 7th. Now, if we do this shorter instead of writing it all out, we know we're going to have 7 f's, and then another 7 f's, and then another 7 f's, and another 7 f's. So that's 7, then that's 14, and then that's 21 and 28. So my prediction is f to the 28th power. Did you guys get the same thing? Do you notice a pattern when we're doing these problems? If so, go ahead and add your pattern right up to the top, right where x to the m to the power of n. So write down what you think that's going to be, and that could be a rule that you use on these kind of problems every single time. A nice shortcut for you. The next rule we have is power of a product. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's see what this does. So power of a product. So the first one is xy to the third power. So that means I have x, y, 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. So let's go ahead and let's count up all my x's. 1, 2, 3. So that's x to the third. And then I've got to count up my y's. I've got 1, 2, 3. So that's y to the third. Okay. The next one, let's change slightly. Let's make it a little bit more complicated. So jk, and let's make this jk squared, where only the square is on the k. And that whole thing is to the fifth power. So what I just wrote is jk squared to the fifth power. So that means I have jk squared 1 time, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. There they all are. So I know my j's are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've got 5 j's. And then my k's, I know that I've got squared, 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 squared. So I know I got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So k to the 10th power is my final answer. J to the 5th, k to the 10th. You try this next one. Go ahead and try, go ahead and try rs to the 8th power. So when I expanded this, I got rs 8 times. So there it is, 8 times. And if I count up all my r's, I've got r to the 8th. And then if I count up all my s's, I got s to the 8th. Did you get the same thing? Do you know what the equation is now? Or that rule that we can use to simplify this? If you do, go ahead and add it in this place right here, xy to the mth power. Now we have the bottom to do. So the quotient property is next. So let's go ahead and let's zoom in on the quotient property. So if we have x to the 7th over x to the 3rd. So let's expand that. So I've got x to the 7th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that's over x to the 3rd, 1, 2, 3. So let's go ahead and let's cancel them out. So this one cancels here, this one and this one cancel, this one and this one cancel. So it looks like I'm left with 1, 2, 3, 4, x to the 4th power. And there's nothing in my denominator. Let's try the next one. Now, these problems are a little boring, so let's make this a little bit more fun. Instead of x to the 8th over 5, let's make this x to the 8th, or I'm sorry, p to the 8th over p to the 10th. So change your problem. Okay, so go ahead and expand that right now for me. Is this what you got? 8 p's on top of 10 p's. Okay, now we're going to simplify. So this and this cancel. These p's can cancel. These ones, those ones, those ones, those ones, and those ones. So all we're left is 2 p's on the bottom. So that means I've got 1 over, because you can't have nothing in the numerator, so we had to put 1 over p squared. So this is 1 over p squared. Okay, last problem. Again, we're going to have you guys try it. Go ahead and try it on your own, and let's turn this into v to the 9th over v to the 13th. Okay, so this is what I got, v to the 9th over v to the 13th. Now again, you're going to pause your video, and I want you to cancel it out and try to write what the final answer is. Okay, when I canceled out, I had nothing on top and 4 v's on bottom. So that means I've got 1 over v to the 4th. Ta-da! Do you see the shortcut now? Go ahead and write a rule for yourself. Remember, these rules aren't necessary, but if you like a shorter way of doing things, go ahead and write a rule for yourself here. If not, you can always just expand it and do it the way we did it today. So the next property is the negative exponent property. And this one, we're kind of not going to expand, okay? So we're just going to drop it like it's hot is what I like to say. So the first problem is x to the negative 4th. So if we've got a negative exponent, what we do is we drop the whole exponent to the denominator and it becomes positive. So this is 1x to the 4th. Okay, let's try this one. Let's say this is over 2. So we're going to change